Can you hear me, guys? So once again, good morning, all of you. How are you all? I know you can't talk, but you can still talk. You know that, right? Even if I can't hear you, but I can still see you. I can still feel you. So, guys, I am Gaurav, okay, and I'm not the speaker for the day, okay. Yeah, thank you. I'm here to set some ground rules for all of us, and also introduce the speaker, okay. So very first thing, okay, very first and foremost thing. So some of you are taking this training, this PDT through mobile, and some of you are taking through laptop. Okay, so if you are taking it from laptop, the very first thing I want you guys to put your mobile on silent or maybe on the switch off mode. And if you're taking it from mobile, make sure there is no disturbance. Okay, whatever you can block, you can, the other that notification you can stop during the this 1.5 hour. Please do that. Okay, make sure you don't receive any call. Okay, because I don't want you to miss a single second of today. Okay, because uh, like all the PDTs, this PDT is also very very important, and I'll tell you why. Okay. Sisi, I think screen is being shared. Okay, no worries. So very first thing, are we together? That are we on, either on laptop, and if at all we are on mobile, then we'll be kind of switch on to make sure we are here, not only mentally but the physically as well. Together. The second most important ground rule, which I want you to follow, right? The very very important. So when I started a business long back, right? I used to take this ground rule very lightly, and it looked like very funny to me, but this is the most important ground rule, which is nothing but the empty our cup. So I want all of you to follow the ritual. Okay, I'll explain. If you don't know what exactly you are supposed to do, you can see the screen next to you. Okay, you can see the screen the people are doing. Hold your cup on your left hand. Okay, and think about everything which is keeping your mind occupied, bothering your mind right now. The good thing, the best thing, or the not so good things, right? Let's say you had an amazing week, you had an amazing yesterday, or you had a the you have achieved your goal in terms of activities, in terms of earning money or the UVs, or you could not achieve your goal. Maybe you have it's a little early morning in your country, or maybe it's afternoon in your country. Okay, maybe it's Sunday only day for you to sleep, but we are attending training. No matter what, whether you got your morning tea or you haven't got your morning tea as yet, doesn't matter. You are here for a reason. Okay, keep everything, think about everything, put that in your cup. Okay, and make sure you give it to Mother Earth empty completely. You can do one more time so that I be just to ensure, right, nothing is left in the mind, okay, to be busy with, because I want all of you to be mentally here today, not only the physically. So let's do one more time. Let's think about anything, everything. Close your eyes and think, if by any chance it's still bothering you, keeping your mind occupied other than the PDT, put that in your cup and empty your cup. Okay, and when you do the physical movements with whatever we are thinking, it works. Okay, so and then you can take a deep breath, one deep breath, and just relieve. Okay, feeling better? You can still talk to me, that, right? Without speaking uttering a word, you can still speak to me. Are we together? The second, right, the next round rule for the Zoom, especially for the Zoom, if you understand, I want everybody to keep the video on. Now I want to talk about little bit more about this, right? People, because I initially, when the Zoom thing started, year back, lockdown and all, I thought this is for the speaker, so speaker can see us, get the energy, and we can give the energy. Yes, yes, yes. But more than anything else, it is not for the speaker, it is for me, it is for us. Because if I keep the video on, my experience says, if I in some of the trainings I have the video on, some of the trainings I have video on, all the trainings I assume that I'm attentive. But when my video is on, I'm not only attentive, I'm in attention also. Okay, and when I'm in attention and attentive both, right, I'm in seeking, or I know, right, I'm here for a reason, and I have I'm listening. When video is off, the tendency is not, take it little casually. Though you don't want to, but you take it, you end up taking it. So don't take that risk today. I'm telling you, don't take that risk today. Okay, so keep the video on. Okay, and it is not only a help you, help speaker, and so help you back, help us back. Are we together? Cool. Now we have, empty the cup. But if we keep it closed, if we keep our mind closed, it wouldn't work. I have heard and I have felt and I have experienced, right? The mind is like a parachute. Mind is like a parachute. If we don't open and jump, what will happen? We'll go down and then we'll go up. We don't want that, right? So keep your mind open. Let's keep our mind open to learn. We are here to learn. We are not here to judge. So we are here to learn. And if you want to learn, and if you want to make this 1.5 hour count in our business and you want to change our business, let's be in the seeking mode. Okay, let's keep our mind. Whatever speaker is going to share, guys. Okay, whatever is going to share is not here to share what we want to hear. He is here to share what we need to hear. So let's allow him, let's give him the trespass. Okay, let's not judge him, and let's keep our mind open. Are we together? 100%. Okay, do we have kept the mobile on silent or not disturbing mode? Yes. Are we sure we are emptied? We have emptied our cup. We are completely here. 100%. Okay, lovely. Third thing, our mind is open, completely open. We are not into judging mode. We are a student, right? We are here to learn. So let's be in the learning mode only. Okay. Now, amazing thing. Okay. Let me talk about the speaker. Okay. He is CA. You know what? He is CA. Now I'm saying CA. Okay. Because many of us, okay, many of you, many of us, okay, dream to have CA. Forget about the career. We many of us, dream to be a CA. Okay, and I can't do it. He is already a CA. Not only CA, he has 13 years of corporate experience. Do you think it's a joke? 13 freaking years of experience in the CA field. He was CWA. He was one of the youngest principal financial consultant when he was working in the corporate. In 13 years, he has worked with company like Dell, Ford. Last thing he was with Airtel, telecommunication. So guys, this experience, okay, corporate experience, obviously he's not here for that reason, but he's coming with that background. He was so successful in terms of qualification degree. He was so successful in corporate life as well. Okay, obviously we know that is not the reason he's here for. Okay, he has been equally successful, right? Equally rocking in the business. Okay, he has been into the business for last 8 years. 8 years of experience, guys. I think many of you mm, most probably would not have the half experience than him in the business. Okay. So he is coming with the 8 years of experience today. He's going to spend time with us for 1.5 hour and going to share his experience, what he has learned, what mistake he has made, what we are supposed to do, what we are not supposed to do. Okay. But if you know him, okay, he's very humble guy, very humble guy. I've been working with him, okay, last couple of years, though not from day one. He appears to be a very cool guy, calm guy, the CA guy. But guys, and if I tell you, right, I have never seen a person who's working on self for changing and growing. He has been changing. The day one I met him, and whatever impression I got from him while talking to him, and today when I talk to him, it's totally changed. I can't relate from the day when I met him and the today I'm meeting him. Amazing guy. Continuously, we are in the common forum with our upline AVP Sarfoon. Okay, guys, round of applause, please. My upline, our upline, right? AVP Sarfoon. This is the reason why we are here, wherever we are, right? But okay, we are in the common forum with AVP Sapun. I see this guy, right, this gentleman, always writing the notes. Sometimes you're upline, in some of the forum will ask you, right, do you remember that session, do you remember that session? He's the guy, he's the first guy, right? I'm searching my notes if I've written the notes. He's the guy with the ready, yes, coach, we have that note. So he always ready, right? Even the something has been discussed 6 months back, he has that notes very handy, and he remembers everything. Very humble guy, very very quiet guy. He appears to be very quiet guy. but he waits for the timing to throw his sense of humor. Sometimes you don't understand, and sometimes you will understand post week. Oh, what he was talking, last week. So that kind of sense of humor he has. Okay, not everybody could understand. Okay, he, as I said, he has 8 years of experience, and this is the reason why he's here. Are you guys excited? Are you guys, to hear from 8 years of experience, who has such a lovely, amazing, successful corporate career, and again, such a loving, amazing, the QNET career. So he's here coming with 8 years of experience, and if you ask me, and if you, I know you all would agree, nothing, nothing can beat the experience. Agree or not? Nothing can beat the experience, and experience cannot be bought by money as well. You cannot give money and say, give me 8 years of experience, 10 years of experience, or 2 years of experience, or 2 months experience. You have to give, right? We have to give our mind, body, soul, sweat, whatever, blood, right, to get that experience. It never comes easy. And when experience comes to us, okay, and sharing that, the journey, the learning, I think we are blessed enough to have such an experience, right, coming to us and share his experience of experience. Yeah. So are you guys really ready to welcome this gentleman, for me to invite this gentleman? I am not convinced. I can see only 25 screen on my screen. Okay, but I don't see. I don't think so. We are ready. Let me scroll the screen. Okay. Yeah, the second one is better. Let me check third one. Third one is equally exciting. So you guys help me welcome. Okay, you can wave your hands. You can move your body, whatever you want to do. But I want you guys to pass on the maximum possible energy from your end to the gentleman, right? So guys, ready? Finally, duck 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 duck. So guys, help me welcome my brother from another mother. Okay, my buddy Balaji. Okay. One thing.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Yeah, times are changing everywhere.
Am I audible? I'm audible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And no matter how many times you speak to people, the only thing that every time when it comes to this forum, every time you get this stage, because it's been shared by so many people, uh, there is that element of being nervous, right? So you'll have to afford me that I'm not the trained trainer who can talk extempo just like that. Whatever Gaurav was saying about me was more out of love that he has for me, and thank you so much for what he has said. It's more of the bond that we share, and because of which. So I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I cannot talk to you in the sense that I can't hear you. I can obviously talk, but I can't hear you talk. So in olden days, they used to write, letters they used to write. That trust all of you are doing good there. So I'm saying trust all of you are doing absolutely awesome there. Yeah, and I am so grateful that I have got this. I got this platform to talk. One thing that I know is it's not because of what I have it's because of there's a lot more that I want to accomplish. There's a lot more that I am here to accomplish. There is a long journey that I want to go. I want to go much higher. I want to go much far. So it's not about what has been done so far. The reason why probably my upline has asked me to talk is to share all the mistakes that I have done. So this forum I would take to share a lot of mistakes that I have done. I have done a lot of mistakes, and when I take plans, when I take verbatims, I definitely make it a point to tell that I have taken 9 years to reach here, and I have done lovely mistakes. The kind of mistakes that I have done, um, the gravity of those mistakes are very high. The price that I have paid for those mistakes are very high, and I am here to share some of those mistakes so that you don't repeat them. All right. Uh, 9 years has been a real journey. I have learned from my mistakes. Right. One thing that I would definitely tell is whatever I have achieved so far, I know for sure that my success has got delayed. And the success has got delayed because of the mistakes that I have made. The kind of whatever I saw, the good things that I'm seeing in this journey today, good things that I'm experiencing in the business today is something that came very late to me. It came very late in the sense that it's because of the series of mistakes that I have done. Um, but the good things came very late to me, and I would really want those who are young in this journey now, those who are 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years in this journey. I'm going to talk to you all to ensure that I share the most as much as I can, so that if you feel that you are in the same journey, or your journey here is relatable, and you are likely and you are in the way to commit those mistakes, you don't. And if you are able to pick up from my experience, and if you stop making those mistakes, probably you will achieve much faster. And this is the only journey. The best part of this business, the best part of this journey, this is the only place where people will share secrets, people will share the mistakes, so that the new people do not make mistake. First thing that I heard sometime, there was this welcome that all of us attend, right? When I attended the welcome, there's a statement that was made by the person who was taking the welcome for me, that there are no new mistakes in this business. There are new people who come in and repeat old mistakes. So it's about having that uh, thought that I don't want to commit mistakes that are committed by people who are older to me in the business, so that I can reach success faster. All of us want to become successful faster, right? The only way is you pick up the experiences, learn from the experiences, and don't repeat those mistakes. Probably you'll reach the destination that you want to reach faster, right? And I know for sure that nobody would want me as a downline, because it is that many number of mistakes and that kind of a person I have been. Okay? And if being somebody who is that kind of a downline, who would be making mistakes, I don't know how many of you would want me as a downline in the first place. So I'm going to talk about all of that, and probably a lot of you are listening to me for the first time. I have got a chance to talk to you, so I'll tell you where I come from. I'm a hardcore South Indian. Okay, I'm from south of India, and that land by itself, is known to be conservative. Okay, so I come from a conservative family. I come from a family where it is believed that you should be doing only a job. Business is seen as a swear word. Business is seen as when you want to derogatory comment. If you want to make a comment on somebody which is to be derogatory, you say that probably with business. I mean, it's doing some business. That's the way it is seen. So I come from that kind of a thought process. We used to be called as, we would be called as those classical employees. You know, classical employees are people who give their life to the company they work for. Okay, I was one of those who would give my life to the company that I work for, and never looked at the time. And it used to be a pride to tell that we never looked at the time when we work, especially when we were in corporates. So it was always a pride to say that, you know, we walk into the office at 9 o'clock and the time to leave is never decided. You understand? That's what is a classical employee, and understood only one thing, that if we work hard, we get promotions in time. And the only thing that I wanted was promotions. I wanted to grow fast. The urge to grow fast was definitely there. The urge to make it big in life was definitely there. And it was because of that urge that I would double work, I would triple work in my corporate and probably get promoted. I never had to wait for a promotion in corporate. It came to me. I never had to ask for a promotion. I never had to ask for an increment. Whenever I felt like looking out for a job, I looked out for a job. There's no interview that I did not crack. I used to crack all interviews. I used to have 3 offer letters when I'm moving out of a corporate. So the 13 years of my corporate, I had a dream run. Okay, in the sense that I have no complaints against them, but I had a dream run. I used to get promotions. I used to get, and we would work hard. So anybody who was my boss at that time, one was perception management that I would do. Second is anybody who was a boss at that time, probably I would be the blue-eyed boy for that person. So I never had an issue with respect to promotion. I never had an issue, and I had to just put a finger on a particular position, particular responsibility, particular profile, and probably I would get it. It came my way so easily. But and it was going on this way in 2010. Till 2010, we were in Chennai, and then because I had to grow, and there were very limited opportunities available in Chennai. After a point of time in corporate, you know that, you know, you can't stick to a location to grow. You have to be flexible for a location. So I decided to be flexible for location, and I came to Mumbai in 2010. And 2010, me and my wife, both of us were working in good companies, so to say. I used to work for Airtel. My wife used to work for TCS. So you can understand, right? These are companies which are regarded as good companies in India, at least. So both of us were working in the top 50 companies of the country, and our lifestyle was very frugal. So if you understand, South Indians don't know to do lavish spending. Uh, very frugal lifestyle. Basic living is what we all were. The only thing that we had was company had given us an accommodation in Mumbai, so we had a decently good apartment to stay. And otherwise, lifestyle would be very frugal. You know, it's not a flamboyant spending lifestyle that we were having. So whatever salary we were making, that was like more than sufficient for us. It was not so. You know, I hear a lot of them say that, there was no money, there was this corporate. You don't. I sometimes find it difficult, and I'm being honest. I find it difficult to relate because we learn to live within our means. That was something that was ingrained in us, that we would live within our means. We would never cross our limits. Uh, if we had a car, we would have the car for probably 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years, I don't know how many years. Unless the car by itself honks off and says that, I can't run anymore, we would be running that car. Branded clothes was never part of our lifestyle. So there was, it's simple living, as I call it. We always had that. And therefore, at office, I had a good name. Uh, I was being looked after for a promotion every 18 months. So 18 months of time, if I spend, people will start talking about my promotion. My bosses would start talking about my next move and all that stuff. So I never had to worry about it. And I would say that if you had met me at that time, I don't know if you would even call me for a plan. You understand? If this is the way somebody is living, coming to the office early in the morning and then leaving late and enjoying the work, likely to get promotions. I was relatively young for the position that I was doing. I was not one of the older people. I was probably young for the position that I was in. Uh, Achiever in all ranks, liked by bosses. If this was to be me, not aspirational. Uh, if this was to be me, how many of you would have called me for a plan? How many of you would have judged me and said that this guy wouldn't get into business? And I would not talk about business to anybody. Deep within, I wanted to get into business, but I would not talk about business to anybody because deep within, I knew that on the surface, though it was looking very good, on the surface, it was looking like, I have a lovely career, I have a lovely position and all. Deep within, I knew that it was a little shallow. You understand what I'm saying? Deep within, it was something that I knew, which I wouldn't disclose to anybody. Deep within, I knew that it's not as hunky dory as it is visible. So, I would not talk to anybody about business. I would not express my interest to get into a business. Nothing. Just that I would have, and I came to Mumbai very in 2010, and sometime in 2012. How many friends and what circle would I have? I'm not social person also. I'm always confined to the four walls of the house. Mostly during weekends. Weekends I prefer to spend time at home with family. I wouldn't want to go out of the house on weekends. Weekends it would be either bring work home and work from home for some time. Today work from home has become the buzzword, but those days Saturday, Sunday used to be work from home for us. So we would probably bring the laptop home and work from home for at least 3-4 hours on Saturday, 2-3 hours on Sunday, and confine ourselves to the four walls of the house. Hardly go to a mall, and that's it. So I was not a social animal either. I didn't have a circle. I didn't have a great circle. I was not an extrovert. Very introvert to the core, in the sense that even if a friend of mine comes from the other direction, I would not want to talk to him. Why unnecessarily talk to people? And I would not want to talk to him. And I would move from the other direction. I was introvert to that extent. And, we are seasoned and conditioned. People who are CA here would agree with me that while you're doing CA, you're seasoned not to talk, and you're considered to be somebody with a little bit of a less intelligence if you talk more. Now, how many of you have heard somebody blaming him that he talks too much, man? So we were people who were seasoned to talk less. Unnecessarily, you should not talk. The words that come out of our mouth, we were told that they are very priceless, and therefore you are not supposed to talk. And probably over the period of time, we would also advocate the same to our juniors, saying that, unnecessarily don't talk. So even if it were to be a team member of mine, okay, even if it were to be a team member of mine, probably we'll correspond and communicate on emails. Okay, a guy was sitting 2 cubicles away, I would send an email to him saying that asking for something, and he'll reply on email saying that I'll give it to you in 2 hours. And then 2 hours later, I'll follow up saying that, it's been 2 hours and you have not given. You understand this corporate world? This is the way. This is the way we were tuned. This is the way I was tuned, and this is the way I was living. And when this became the way of life, exactly 9 years back, it was first week of February 2012 that my referrer approached me for this business, and I went to Batra in Mumbai to see the plan. And the moment I guessed that it would be something to do with network marketing, it would be something to do with multi-level marketing. When I guessed that it is something to do with that, I was actually turned off. I had decided that I am not going to get into anything of this sort because one, it is not my cup of tea. Second, I am not that money hungry. Third, so many reasons why this business was not for me. Okay, and I saw the plan, and I was not interested in listening to the person who was talking. I was probably fiddling with my mobile. I was doing all sorts of things that can put the presenter off. Today, if I'm a presenter, probably I get turned off when somebody does anything of that sort. So I did everything of that sort, and the plan was done. And I came back from Bandra. I was called on a working day. I insisted that I want to talk on a Saturday or Sunday, but then the one who referred me also insisted that it should happen on a working day. I was called on a Wednesday. My office was in Goregaon. Those who understand the demography of Bombay, Goregaon to Bandra would be about 1.5 hours. So now I want to tell you, deep within I was looking for something which I didn't express. Okay. Now I had to go and meet somebody in Bandra. I knew in the morning, so instead of taking a car, I took a two-wheeler so that I can sneak through the traffic and I can reach Bandra in time and I can have this discussion. All this something I don't know. We had two minds all along. One was something that I would show to people who I am, and deep within there would be something else. So that deep within me made me take my two-wheeler and go to Bandra and listen to whatever is being told. Show off that I am not listening, but deep within I was listening. You understand? But one thing that I was very clear that network marketing is not something that I am cut out for. I don't have a social circle. What do we look for when we think of prospects? We think of somebody who has a network, somebody who's very social, somebody who, so those are the things that we look for, right? And I talked to a lot of people in my team and they said, this guy has a network of 1,000 people. So that's what we look for, right? Somebody who has a network, somebody who has, and my plan was done, and 2 months my referrer had to continuously follow up. Okay, in those 2 months, trust me, I would have avoided his call at least about some 50 times. I would have been in meetings at least some 50 times. I would have sent message to him that I am in a meeting at least 50 times. Just imagine, okay, you call, right? We are on the receiving end now. So when you call somebody and the other person sends a message off to you that I am in a meeting, okay, you understand what the meaning of the meeting is then. So I would have sent messages that I am in a meeting. All those things of 2 months of avoiding, I have done. I'm a master in doing Google search. So the Google search and all the advertisements that are there for the company in Google, I would have gone through all the advertisements, everything. Okay, and we are people who are CA will be with me on this. That again, another seasoning that is done to us is to identify and talk only negative. Okay, so if a marketing guy, sales guy says that the glass is half full, the people who are CA are employed, they are kept in the company to say that the glass is half empty. Okay, even if the glass is 90% full and the guy says the glass is full, the CA will say 10% is still available. It's not full. So he will say the 90% is full. CA will say still 10% is not full. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So this fraternity is meant to talk in this language. And just imagine 3-4 years of education and 13 years of corporate, 17 years I have been doing that. And then I'm exposed to this industry. What do you think would be my first thought when this business came in front of me? I could identify all the negative things. And very clearly I had told that, I don't know why you're wasting your time on me. I don't know if this is something that I would be keen to do. Okay. How many of you get this response and somewhere you drop it saying that, he's not interested, and you consider this case as a closed case? Okay. You say the closing is done. I have given my field fed found. The guy is not interested. So all this I have done, and I am thankful to my referrer, everybody, the one who presented the plan, the one who took care of me during those periods, everybody for having been patient. Because and I feel that it is, I have a lot of gratitude for all these people, and I have a lot of gratitude for God, because had they left me at that point of time, probably this business would not have been in my life, and probably I would have been in the corporate rut, and probably I would have had that regret that the opportunity came in front of me and I didn't make the best use of it. All right. So something that I always, those 2 months is something that I am still amused even today on how come I got signed up. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how I got signed up. And how many of you come across people like me? And because of the lack of patience within, we let go of people. You understand? So one thing that I have to thank my referrer is that he didn't let go of me, right? And he ensured that he pulled me in. And trust me, after coming in, I was not a good downline to be. Like I said, that nobody would want me to be a downline. The day I got signed up, I remember immediately after that there was a lovely event called Mega Infinity Fest that was happening in Goregaon. Okay, it was a 2-day event. I don't know how many of you were part of that event. Mega Infinity Fest was happening in Goregaon and CD was the logo. And the only reason why I agreed to attend that Goregaon's Mega Infinity Fest was because I was in Goregaon and the event was happening in Goregaon as well. So it was hardly any distance from my house. I said, I'll walk up, I'll come in and attend, no problem, no traffic, nothing. And 2 days I attended that event, and I took a decision on the second day that next day onwards I'm not going to do this business. This is not for me. And somebody had to follow up with me continuously to get the welcome done. And I came for welcome after I think 2 weeks or so. I came for welcome 1 week or so. I don't know. I came to welcome after a very long time after I got signed up, and the welcome was done. And you know what is told in the welcome, right? I was told to write a dream list, I was told to write a name list. And trust me, I said, all this has no relevance. So the next day, my referrer called up and said, have you written your dream list? I said, yes, I have written. He asked me, how many dreams have you written? I did. This perception management comes so naturally to all of us. Corporate 13 years, right? You know how to do perception management. So the moment he said, how many dreams have you written? I know I don't want to say 20. So I said 14. Wow, very good. Go ahead and write 6 more and complete your 20. You should write 20. So I heard all this and I said, yeah, this is something that is so stereotyped. And I did not complete my 20, neither did I write 2, 3, I think. And then they said that start writing your name list. And he said, how many have you been able to write? I said, 100. Because you understand, right? I have come from corporate. First is we prejudge, this, that, and I wrote 100. Okay, and I'm telling you, a set of books were given to me. Those days we used to have DVD. Now, reading books was never a challenge for me. I would read books, so I read those books like it's a magazine, like something that I'm not interested, but still I'm being told to read. So, like how you read newspapers, I read those books. And I said, I'm done with reading those books. Yeah, interesting stuff. Then I was told to watch the videos, DVDs. I said, I've seen everything. Done. Now what? Then he said, okay, now start talking to people. Hot zone closures. I was not interested. So just imagine I put in money and they told me to close hot zones. So I signed up by and all that. I put in more money and then I was not interested. And almost from, I think, 6, 7 months, I was just loitering around in the business. And thank God that the business did not leave me. Thank God appliance did not leave me. They were patient. They gave me the space probably. Every time a system would get over, I would come out of the system and they would ask me, how was the system? And I would just tell them that, yeah, the regular motivational stuff. And I used to feel these systems to be a motivational system. And I would just come in, listen to the system, go out, go home, finish the day. That's it. And so I'm saying that it's an opportunity that I am getting now. That I am thankful to everybody in the business today, because it's because of somebody's persistence that I'm still here. It's because of somebody's persistence. Just imagine how many businesses that you know that you get the benefit of somebody else's persistence. Somebody else is patient with you, and therefore I am going to get the benefits of it. Somebody was patient with me, I am reaping the fruits of that. And that's what I was a beneficiary of. So 6, 7 months, 8 months, I hardly fixed any plans. I hardly tried to do anything in the business, and I was just loitering around. And I was one thing that I was seeing is that there were people around who were growing. So Abhishek, who's there, who took the system a couple of weeks back, he was growing. There were people around whom I could see that they were growing, they were making money, their teams was growing. So one thing that happened was I was seeing that people were growing. So it was not that business doesn't grow. The business does grow. So I went to VCon in September 2012. It was Indonesia, Jakarta VCon, completely full cup. And everything that used to happen in the system, everything that used to happen around, is something that I used to feel illogical. And I'm a logical guy. Anything that I have to do, you have to explain a logical reason for me. And if that logic appeals to me, I would do. Otherwise, I wouldn't do. I wouldn't have a buy-in, and therefore I wouldn't do. So I went to Recon, and then there were people who were dancing, there were people who were standing in queue. People were so passionate, and I could not relate to that passion. I could not relate to whatever was happening in Recon, and you understand. Everything that was there in the business was something that was not for me. And every time I was coming across something, my mind would reject it, saying that this is not for me, this is not for me. People were crazy, people were shouting, people were dancing. I said, this is not for me, and I would stop myself. I would come out of it, and this is something that was my inherent nature, right? Even in school, whenever there was some dance programs or something that was extracurricular activities, my mind would say that I'm coming here to study, right? So let me study and let me go. And I didn't. I realized that that's a nature of being a nerd. How many of you know a nerd? I don't know, but I was that classical nerd. Nerds are not people who sit in the first row. First row people are serious and studious. Nerds, nerds are people who are neither good for studies, not good for extracurricular. You know that middle bench people, second bench and third bench, worst place to be. So I was probably the second bench, between the first and second bench kind of a guy. So in some classes I would sit in the first bench, some classes I would sit in the second bench, and having fun in life was something that was completely missing in my agenda. I would go to school to study, right? People go to school for have to have fun, right? Today, if I look back, I feel that I have missed my life, a significant portion of my life, right? So I would go to school to study. Similarly, I went to corporate to work. I never believed in having fun. So when this business came to my life, again the same thing. I am here to earn money, isn't it? I'm here to earn money. I am not here to dance. I am not here to chill out. Oh, I'm not here for that. I'm here to make money, isn't it? So when I went to VCon and I saw all these people having so much of fun and all, I couldn't relate. You understand? That's been my journey. Now my question is, how many of you, knowing this, would want a downline like this? Okay, and I will go to any extent, and the kind of person that I am, I will ask question on everything. On everything, I'll ask a question. Why should I sit in the first row when system is going on? And today, I started sitting in the first row after some time, after I realized I'm going to share. And today my team sits in the first row and I don't have to even tell them. Right? And I'll tell you why should I sit in the first row? Okay, whatever is being told in the system. See, we've lived in corporate for 13 years, right? I've lived in corporate for 13 years and I have been exposed to a lot of trainings. And whenever I would attend a training module in system or event or wherever, I would look at the training module and I will say that this is something that has happened in my 13 years and I know what he's going to talk about. And before the discussion would start off, before even the point would start off, I would say that I know what he's going to tell. I knew what he's going to tell and I would be done. And when I would be done, I would mentally switch off whatever he's going to talk. Because I know what he's going to talk. I know everything. Okay? So whenever systems used to happen, I would say I know what it is. There used to be, after the system, after these PDTs, people would come out and there would be a circle where people would be sharing takeaways. I would just be off from those takeaways because it's not me, standing around and saying that this is what I've learned. I mean, why should I tell people what I've learned? Okay, and I'm definitely one of those, and they would compel me. Okay, my referee would compel me to stand in the circle. Have you done this? Compelling your people, come, stand. So they would ask me to stand, and you've seen those people, huh? When I would stand in that circle, I would look at people and I would say that, oh my God, what takeaway is he giving me? Completely judgmental about everything that was there. I would judge the way the speaker would speak, the English that he would speak. I would try to find mistakes on his past tense usage, present continuous tense usage. I would find mistakes in that. Then I would find mistakes in his vocabulary. I would be surprised when somebody uses. I would try to find mistakes in his dialect in which he would talk, pronunciation mistakes, everything. And I would, come out. My wife used to come to system with me those days. I would come out and I would tell her how many mistakes he made. And I don't know. You understand, coming from corporate, so much of a full cup and baggage that I carried to come into this business, and I would I would probably find mistakes on everything that would come around me, and it was so easy for me to do that. Completely judgmental about everything in the system that is being shown, uh, and most of the times I would not go for these meetings, for these systems. Systems and resales are happening. I would prefer to show a plan, in the sense that I became a little serious with respect to this business sometime in December and January, and I started showing plans, and one or two people signed up also. So when people signed up, their plans were getting lined up, and I became a presenter, and I said I'll show plans. And if there is a system, or there is those days, Sunday mornings there used to be a VSL in Delhi, and if there is a VSL in Delhi on Sunday morning, I would prefer to show a plan than to go for a VSL. Okay, upline is coming, and we are likely to have an association at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I would prefer to show a plan or go home and sleep rather than come for those associations, because somewhere I was judging everybody around. Okay, everybody around, I used to feel that they don't have anything else to do. That is the reason why they are coming here, whereas I am a busy man. I'm a busy man. I have to go to office the next day morning. I need to have those 8 hours of sleep, because if I don't get those 8 hours of sleep, probably my health will deteriorate. So I wanted the 8 hours of sleep, and then I want to go to office, and then, if possible, show plans. Otherwise, it's okay. Okay, this was me. So there was an event and so many times, when coach was there in Bandra, and we would be called on a Sunday that, AVP Sharfun wants to talk to you. That time she was Sharfun. She wants to talk to all of you, all those new people who have started off, come over to Bandra. I would say I'm on the way, and I'll put the phone down and I will cover myself up and I'll sleep. And today, I'm telling you the mistakes that I have done. Today I miss those moments, because those who attended those discussions that time, they went miles ahead of me, and it took a lot of pain to actually run alone after that, right? So those occasions that I had were probably where I was called for any of these sessions. I would say these are motivation sessions. It wouldn't make sense for me. um, if there is a plan for a guy in my team, I'll say, you don't have to go for VSL, you come and sit with me. We'll do plans. Because if you do plans, no, you grow. You get a sign up. That was the thought that I had. So versus a team meeting where upline would want to talk something, to a plan, I would do a plan. Versus a team meeting where upline would want to talk something, to sleep, I would sleep. You're getting my point? So this was the last priority for me, because I used to feel these are motivational stuff which I already know. So when I attended the welcome, the first thought that I had in my head is, most of what is being told in the welcome is something that I have already heard of somewhere. Someone has told me. So it's not for me. So when I had a sign up, a new guy got signed up, and his welcome was to be done. My upline was taking the welcome, and I was roaming around. I said, "Let me have tea and come." And I was roaming around. You know why I was roaming around? I said, "My welcome is already done. My welcome is done. Now this is his welcome. It's not my welcome." So, so I had a cross lines coming around, and he said, "What's happening there?" He said, "I said welcome. Who's welcome? My dear's welcome. So why are you roaming around? Because mine is done. You understand?" Then he said, and it was a helpline for us. Then he said that, "Don't you want to learn how welcome is done?" I said, "There's nothing much to learn in it." And I rejected these things. You understand? Had I realized, probably I would have sat and I would have learned welcome faster. And this is a classical case of how a hunter versus how a farmer behaves. And I was a hunter, perfect hunter. I would just carry the gun and just shoot, which is show the plan and hunt him down. Farmer is business can be done like a hunter, business can be done like a farmer, right? You understand? Hunter is somebody who has to do hunting on a daily basis. He would get the hunt and he'll feast on the hunt. Farmer is somebody who has to every day go and do a nurturing, farming every day, and he gets the crop after a while. But when he gets it in abundance. I didn't realize this business was a farming business. I believed in hunting and I kept hunting. So what happened is I spent a lot of time hunting, and it's not that I didn't get results. Okay, I would hunt, somebody would get signed up. Then that guy would fix 4 plans, hunt for those 4 plans, one more guy will get signed up. Then that guy will fix 4 plans, hunt for those plans. You know what happened in this process? People never got built. Because the team that was there, they were not attending trainings, neither was I attending trainings. So none of their mindset got built, neither did my mindset got built. You understand what I'm saying? So all of us, I was creating a band of hunters. And people would come in and people would go out. People would come in, fix 4 plans, get 2 signups, and then they would move out. Those 2 signups will fix 4 plans. 2 people would get signed up, and these people will go out. And it was just an in and out machinery that was getting established. The time when I realized is that I was bleeding through my nose with the number of plans that I was doing, and I was not clocking more than 10 UVs in a week. Yeah, every week I would clock UVs. But I was not growing beyond 10 UVs. And almost about 7, 8, 9 months I spent every day showing plans, and my business was not growing. And if I get a few signups, you equate the salary in job. So I decided to become full timer because team was getting built. There were people who were getting signed up, and I was making money. It's not that I was not making money. I was making money. I realized that it's a very, very it's a trap, isn't it? When you make money, you feel, oh, you're spending too much. But when you make money, you feel like you're spending too little.
Hello, guys. I think some technical issues. Okay, so let's wait for a couple of more minutes. But this is planned actually. अंदर की बात बताता हूँ. This is planned. Okay, we wanted to see, right? I wanted to check how many people are still on. Okay, so are you guys on? So picture को भी बात बाकी है. शुरू होने वाली है. So picture is about to start. I know some of you don't understand Hindi. Some of you wouldn't understand my English as well. I know. So bear with me. Okay, try to understand. Try to understand the language of the heart. Yeah. You don't know what I'm going through right now. You know that.
Right.
Welcome back, Balaji. Sport Nana, our Sport Nana. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. So, technical glitch. So what I was saying is that people would come in and people would go, and I would struggle to cross that 10 UV mark. Okay, and I didn't know what was the reason. And every time I would go and ask my upline that what, I have done this, I've done this, and I've done 10 UVs. I don't know how to do 30 UVs. And he would tell me that I'll tell you, but would you attend the system? Would you attend VSL? And I would say, don't give me the same crap again and again. I wouldn't tell it on his face, but his or her face, I wouldn't tell it on the face. But deep within, I would say that, by attending system or by attending a VSL, I don't think anything is going to change. I don't think anything is going to change, and I know what I need to do. And every time I was wondering that if I know what I need to do, why is it not moving? You understand? And I didn't understand this, that attending these systems and attending these events would is the thing that I need to do, and I have to. We are here to create a system is something that I didn't understand. Right? The only thing that I understood was show plans and sign up, and get people on table, talk to them and sign up. I did this for almost 1 year or so, and my system count never went beyond 10. There were a lot of people who got signed up. People would get signed up, people would get dropped off. People would get signed up, people would get dropped off. And I just did this for a very long time. And at some point of time, I could not take it anymore. In the sense that I am working and I'm not growing. Okay, I'm working and I'm not growing, and I didn't know why I was not growing. And at some point of time, the ego that I carried gave up. I I had to tell my ego that what, enough, man. I think I have to. There's something that I don't know, and it's a moment. It's a moment where you see everybody else around you grow, and I am stuck. Am I not intelligent? They say no. Don't become too intelligent to be successful. I used to consider myself intelligent. Okay, and this intelligence is limited. Intelligence is limited. So there are so many things. There are so many things that I wouldn't know. And there are people around in this business who are there to tell what is it that needs to be done. It's up to me to receive and listen to that. And somewhere I had realized that if I don't receive even after so many months and so many years, and I had spent 2 years by the time in the business. And trust me, 2 years, people cross boundaries, people cross big milestones. And I was struggling touching only 10, 15 UVs, 10 UVs, 15 UVs. And at some point of time, I said, I don't know. Then I told myself that I don't know and I need to learn. I started looking at these events and systems, and I started listening to upline. And that's when I think the shift happened. That was my moment where I said, what? I put my cards on table and I said, I'm done now. It's not happening. I have tried all my possible ways. It's not happening. And that's when I was told that listen to events, listen to systems, listen to all the trainings that are happening. I probably said that, this is the only thing that I have not tried out on. Let me start listening. And that's when, the gears changed. Everything changed for me after that. And I remember a lot of things. My switch on movement was, obviously, switch on movement was while I did not want to do this business. I realized I went to VCon and I started recollecting. I went to VCon in September 2012 and I had seen V partner Dev Badhani there. He was not a V partner then. And I had seen AVP Tobing. V partner Dev Badhani was investment banker. Okay, an investment banker is amongst the highest paid profession for finance world. Okay, so he was an investment banker. Everybody craves to be a V partner. When you study finance or something, the whole thought is you want to become an investment banker with one of the big banks. That is the first thought, and very few people even get that kind of a job. And he was an investment banker running a hedge fund and all that. So he was amongst the best qualified person so far as I know. And then there was AVP Tobing, who was a tea seller, probably amongst the lowest occupation that you can think of. And this thing hit me, that it's a band. It's the band of the most educated to somebody who is least. It's a band. And somewhere I am sitting in this band, somewhere. Okay? If people on this corner and people on this corner can make it in this business, do this business seriously, build this business seriously, I am somewhere in this band, right? I should also do it. So this was the point. I recollected that every time in VCon or in an event, a statement of this sort had actually hit me. This is while I was not listening to VCon, while I was not listening to what is being done, is when this hit me. So if I were to listen to them seriously, what would happen? And subsequently, sometime in Delhi, I had attended an event where AVP Digvijay Singh, who came sometime back for a PDT, AVP Digvijay Singh, you need only one thing to do this business. And he had kept his hand like this and he said, you need guts. And as I am telling that, you need guts to do this business. You don't need name list, you don't need, all that is something that you can acquire. What is required, he said, is you need guts. And I did not want to be called as somebody who did not have guts to build it. Those are defining moments. I recollected that every time I have been forced to go for a system, despite being somebody who was not keen to listen to this, despite being switched off while the system was going on, there was something that was getting registered in my head. And that thing that was getting registered actually kept defining me. Kept defining me. And every time something or the other I would get from the system, and probably that I would nudge a little bit closer to becoming an entrepreneur. We come from a different world. I come from a different world where it's all about employment, employment, employment. The rules of an employment and rules of being an entrepreneur are very different. Rules of being in employment is something that comes to us naturally because that is the environment in which I was brought up. The rules of an environment wasn't difficult for me. But rules of an entrepreneur, which is very different, and especially the new age business that is there, it's very different. The same rules cannot get applied in either place. The only problem rule is hard work. But other than that, there are so many other things that are required. It's not necessary. So I was not a social guy. But how to build a network is something that I had to learn, and that was more mechanics. But how to be a businessman is very different. And that's when, I started realizing that when I attended the system and somebody's English was not good, I realized that probably it doesn't matter, man. He is much more successful than me. He's much more successful than me. So why should I question? I started looking for message that he has for me. I started looking for message. And every time I would attend a system, somebody would take a system and I would get one message out of it. And that one message would get ingrained in me, and a small nudge would happen towards becoming an entrepreneur. One small step I took every Sunday, probably, from these systems, from these VSEP. There are so many occasions where we get to learn, in this business. That's the beauty about it. So many occasions where we get to learn. There used to be those night associations. In night associations, back those days, we would have physical associations. And today I miss those physical associations. Those physical associations, I would see people who are very successful. And I had one mantra in my life. Okay, rub shoulders with successful people, you become successful. Rub shoulders with mediocre, you become mediocre. And I would see a lot of successful people. In those successful people, I started looking to listen to them on what is it that they have that probably will help me move a little closer. And there were so many things that started coming to me. And that's when, when Gaurav was telling I take notes, I realized that there are so many things that are coming. They are not applicable to me at that point of time, maybe. But eventually they'll be applicable. Because whatever they are telling, I realize that whatever they are telling, at some point of time, they are in a journey much ahead of me. And whatever they would talk at that time was something that was relatable. And because it was relatable, I realized that something or the other at some point will be applicable to me. And I started writing everything that was coming to me. And if these associations, these systems, these VCL were not to be there, probably I was no way likely to go beyond employment. And it is so important. Today, it's been 9 years. Today, we cannot visualize a Sunday without a system. We cannot visualize without research. We cannot visualize without night associations. And one or two Sundays people miss out. It's they said some in one of the systems they said whatever I'm going to tell you, whatever I'm going to share right now, nothing is my own creativity here. Everything is something that I have picked up from some system, some VCL, some association, and that's what I'm talking now. I am not talking out of my own. I realized one thing, that this business is not about being intelligent. This business is not about, one thing that I have concretely got it into my head, that creativity may not create a system. MF Hussain, one of the best painters, as long as painting got sold, he made money. Right? Was he talented? Yes. But could he create more MF Hussains? I don't know. You understand? Creativity, there are so many scientists who die broke. Very intelligent scientists. They come up with a lot of things, but they are not able to create a system whereby they can create that innovation in a massive scale. And therefore they die broke. Scientists are far, far more intelligent than most of us. So being intelligent and being creative is one thing. Being successful in entrepreneurship is something very different. And it has nothing to do with creativity or innovative. In corporate, they taught us to be innovative. Okay, they rewarded us to be innovative because they wanted to take the benefits of our innovation. The entrepreneurs don't want to innovate. Entrepreneur wants somebody to innovate and give it to them. And if it's a system, they'll accept it. Otherwise, they'll reject it. So the rules that are applicable for being in employment and rules that are applicable for being a businessman is very different. Businessman is about creating a system. And again, this is something that I have picked up from one of the sessions that I had, that it's about creating a system. It's about creating, it's not just about being a king. It's about being kingmakers. And the beauty is there are enough people who are there, enough avenues that are there to guide us on how to go in this path. Enough are there. Just that, it's about leveraging, right? So initially, it's all about leveraging on whatever we are getting. As long as we are able to leverage whatever we are getting at some point of time, we get leveraged and then we can leverage. So leverage what is coming, then leverage yourself and then get leverage from the team. This is the crux of the journey, something that I heard some speakers say in one of the systems. And that's when it hit me that if I am a good presenter, it won't take me long. It will take me only thus far. If I can give innovative presentation, there are a lot of people who come in the team and day one they wanted to innovate on the presentation. If I am able to innovate on the presentation and that presentation needs to get innovated every time, I'll probably never be able to create a system. Never be able to create something that will run in the long run by itself. Automation is not possible in creativity. Create one masterpiece. You cannot repeat the masterpiece again and again. One masterpiece will get sold out only once. But if you want to create a system that continuously generates cash flow, creativity cannot help. This is something that I understood. And the day I understood, it was like I removed my corporate coat and I said, I am willing to come as is. And I am not telling that I have already come in as is. I am still work in progress. I want to be a better student. I want to be a better student. And it is with that thought that I started attending the system, and there are so many learnings that came my way, so many things that came in my way, that I started looking this business very differently. We look for people who have a network. We look for people who have a very good communication skill. We look for people who have. We look for certain types of people, saying that these types of people can do business. And then I have realized that it's not about the skill that they have. It's about the hunger to learn something very different that somebody has, and that you cannot gauge who has how much. And if somebody has a hunger to learn something, hunger to build something, he can learn anything. Skills are something that can always be acquired. All types of skills can be acquired. There is no skill that cannot be imparted, cannot be taught. What comes if there is a hunger to learn something, hunger to change, we ask in our verbatim, right? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to change? I thought that was a formality question. And I used to ask that question as a formality. But in the last so many years, I've realized that that's the most critical question. And whenever I ask somebody, are you willing to learn? For that matter, when somebody asks me, are you willing to learn? And when I ask somebody to learn, the answer is always static, constant. The answer is always, oh, yeah, yeah, I'm willing to learn. I learn from a watchman also. And I say, oh, really? Learning something in corporate, learning comes, it should be suitably worded for us to learn accordingly. That's how corporate learning is, isn't it? It should be suitably worded. It should come the way we want it. Whereas learning cannot come that way. That's that's what I learned, that part of it that, I know it all, the baggage that come from corporate. Corporate trains you to be baggage heavy. There is an identity that is given to you in corporate, given to me in corporate. I was considered as an intelligent analyst. The kind of intelligence that you bring into the reports, when somebody used to say these things, it used to give me a high. The kind of intelligence that you bring in, the value add on the report, all these used to give me a high. And when I came to this journey, I also started looking for those highs. When I came into this business, I started looking for those highs. And those highs came proudly in my way. But that wouldn't take me far, because some of those, identifying how to duplicate it is not something that I know. Therefore, if I am not able to duplicate those things, I would get a probably temporary recognition, but it won't take me far. I wouldn't become somebody who clocks 1,000 euros if I am just an innovative expert. You know, Thomas Alva Edison invented a bulb. He became rich only when he incorporated General Electric and he taught people how to make the bulb. You understand? As long as he was an inventor, he was not big. How many inventors, scientists, who discovered radium? Madame Curie discovered radium. Marie Curie discovered radium, and they died broke. Today, radium is used everywhere. It is used to cure cancer. Probably the next 10 generations would have been rich had they known how to duplicate. There's no point in being a Madame Curie and inventing a radium and then saying that I am one of the most intelligent people. They got Nobel Prize after they died, I think. Then you're getting the point where I'm coming from. This is what I realized when I was listening to some of these systems. And I realized that at some point of time I have to surrender to the learnings that is coming my way. And everything that is being done in this system, and when I say system, it's not just this training, everything that is being done in this setup, right from the way prospecting is done, right from the way grooming school is done, welcome is done. After welcome, we have this switch on, and after switch on, we have stage one, and after stage one, we have these systems, we have these cells, we have so many calls with uplines. All that is being done. Everything, there is a logical reason behind it. Only thing is, sometimes we are less educated to understand the logic. I cannot talk about Pythagoras theorem to a first class boy, right? If I talk about Pythagoras theorem to a first class boy, he will not understand. So if you give a logic behind a square plus b square is equal to c square, he will not understand because he's in first class. He's not learned enough. His thoughts are primitive enough. Similarly, there are so many things that are done in welcome, in stage one, and all that stuff. All that is being done. Everything has a logic. And if you ask upline for the logic, upline has always given me a logic. That logic didn't make sense to me because I was primitive. And as I spend time in business, I spend 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I'm able to relate why something is being done in a particular way. And today, I appreciate the way something is being done. It has taken time for me to appreciate because I understood the logic later. So everybody will tell you the logic. If you ask for logic, everybody will tell you the logic. Some may understand, some may not understand. If you don't understand it, if you're logical like me, keep asking for the logic, but keep following the process because it's been thought through. This business, I understood one thing: there is no point in reinventing the wheel. And even if somebody wants to reinvent the wheel, first master the way it is being done now. And I feel that I have not become a master. So there is no point in putting innovation and invention in it until you become a master. The day you become a master, you can, when all those, I'm sure I'll give you a lot of examples on cricket. All those people who know cricket, right? When you first go to learn cricket, let's say people who play cricket at a professional level, when they first go to learn cricket, they're not sent on the pitch straight away with the bat to just swing their bat. They are first told to go rounds in the circle, then they are told about fitness, then there are so many things that are done before a bat is given to them and they are told to bat. And even after they start batting, they are first told how to do footwork, how to keep their head steady and all. There are rules on how to learn cricket. So day one onwards, you don't swing your bat like Mahendra Dhoni or Mahendra Singh Dhoni or anybody like that. Day one, you learn the rules of the game. You spend a lot of time learning the rules of the game, and once you become a master in the rules, that is when you innovate. Business is also like that. You first spend time learning the rules of the game. It's something that I understood in one of the systems, and it just hit me. I said, I am not. I just need to learn everything that is there in this game before I think of getting into the innovation. Start innovating, and without knowing the repercussions of it, eventually you get stuck. Right? Am I audible? Did I lose people? Day one, people want to innovate. So first is we need to learn the rules of the game. And there are a lot of uplines who are there. And I'm so grateful for the system because every time, there are enough reference points to learn the rules of the game. Right? I heard this example from our coach long back, and it got ingrained again in my head. If you're in India, you know how a 100 rupee note looks like. Okay? It got ingrained, and I'm just repeating this example for the benefit of all. I'm sure a lot of you have heard. If you're in India, you have a 100 rupee note and you have a photo of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi's photo will be smiling a little bit. Suddenly, you become an artist and you're supposed to give a 100 note to somebody, and you say that, what, let's print it differently. And you print young Mahatma Gandhi on it. Would it command 100 rupees? In Hindi, they say, जो चलता है वो छापो. जैसे चलता है वैसे छापो. Do it the way it works. No point in reinventing the wheel. Reinvention should be done when you've crossed the threshold. Right? Probably you reinvent and you make a mistake and you fall down. I have made mistakes and I have fallen down. I am just grateful that I have survived. There are a lot of people who made mistakes and couldn't get up. They fell down and they couldn't get up. What would happen if you don't survive having made a mistake? Right? I only pray to God that, that strength that He has given to hold this on, that should be there forever. And fortunately here, uplines allow you to make mistakes. They allowed me to make mistakes. But every time I was making mistakes, they used to tell me the repercussions of making the mistake. And because having committed the mistakes, I would face those repercussions. I would pay the price for the mistake. They always told me, see, I told you, don't do it. Do it this way. It came to me as a learning that they know the path. So every time I'm likely to make a mistake. I would probably ask. I started asking actually, should I do it in a particular way? And they would say that this might happen. And when they say this might happen, I've off late stopped even thinking of doing it. Because no point wasting time, isn't it? Already so much time has got wasted, and time is so precious now. It doesn't make sense to waste time, right? And the crux of this business now, I have realized that this business is not just about showing plans, getting a few signups. That everybody will have. Everybody will have a few signups. Everybody will have a few teams getting built. The crux of this business is training and duplication. That is the core of this business. So if somebody were to ask, you can't tell in the world outside, what business are you in? I'm into the business of duplication. I can't tell this to people outside. But the core of this business is duplication. The core of this business is training and duplication. Sometime back, coach was only telling that this business is about doing those activities, then teaching how to do those activities and teaching how to teach. And even if you are a teacher in physics, English, chemistry, biology, whichever subject, a teacher has to be master of that subject. A teacher has to be a master of that subject. So if in this business I want to become a teacher, first I should do the activity and I should become a master in the activity. So that's why this business is not just training and duplication. And for us to be good enough in training and duplication, one thing that is required that sorry again, testing my patience. Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Am I audible? Thank you so much. So coming from the corporate, the only thing that I realized is I need to knock off this corporate identity, corporate method is not likely to take me far, right? And that's when I understood the power of being a seeker. Every time I started attending a system, every time I started attending an event, every time I started attending an association, I understood that it is important to be a seeker than anything else. And I started looking for what message is available for me. I started looking at what message is available for me. And that being a seeker made me write down everything that I am getting. Because I don't know when what is relevant and when what would be useful. And today, I have a series of notes. I have about 6 notes like these that I keep writing. Everything that I get, I write. When I have a call with my upline today, I sit with a notebook and pen so that I can write. because there is some message that comes, and probably that message at that point of time is relevant, and I don't want to forget it. This writing down notes, taking down notes was considered as a weakness. I have laughed at people when people start writing notes. No, it's about boasting your intelligence, isn't it? I'm sure a lot of us would have done this in corporate also. It's boasting intelligence, where we boast of our intelligence, saying that whatever is being written, I don't have to worry about it. I can retain everything in my head. I'm smart. So writing, I used to consider it as a weakness, and today when I felt I have become a seeker, I'm looking for something. I write down everything, and I consider this writing as the biggest strength. They say reading maketh a man, and writing maketh a perfect man. So I started writing. I started taking down notes in plenty, and every time I'm sitting idle, I would run through the notes, and every time I run through the notes, the same learning comes back to me. And whenever I want to address something to my team, when I want to talk to my team, you know what? I call these 6, 7 books as my Bible. And if I have to address my team today on anything, if I have to talk to people on anything, even when I am lost and I want to look for something, probably there is something that the upline has already addressed. So I go back and I flip my notes, and trust me, the universe is so powerful that it gives me the relevant thing. I have to just flip my notes here and there, and something will come in which is the most apt thing for me, and I make use of it. And that is what helps me grow every time. For last 6, 7, whatever learnings they are coming, they are absolute priceless. People pay in lakhs, I don't know, not crores, but definitely in lakhs today to get this learning. So be it recon, be it association, be
Guys, hold on, stay tuned. Okay, again you might be thinking, right, this is like technical age, but this is all plan. Again, I'm saying, right, not my plan, not our plan, someone else plan, if you know what I mean. Okay, and if you want to know, right, how to do the sports closure, okay, the one thing which I would like to add about Balaji, right, is known as a sport nana. I mean, his team obviously would know, but rest of the people, okay, stay tuned. Last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you will get something. Okay, this is the test. This is the test by him, right, the God, that how much we are in the seeking mode. So we might get something, we will get something in next 15 minutes, guaranteed, right? That will give us the hint, that will give us the the tips how to do the sports closer. How many of you want to know? And this is why I'm sitting, I'm not even moving here and there. Okay, I'm just waiting for that, one punch, two punch, right? That will help me to get the sports closer. So is it worth to waiting for the spot Nana to come back and give the that last Brahmastra? Everybody understand Brahmastra is the last one weapon which work against any weapon. Okay, so that Brahmastra would work against any prospect. Okay, whether he's a looker or not looker, will make him a looker. Whether he has money or doesn't have money, he will arrange the money and will would want to work with you. Yeah, with me. Superb, superb. So how is this plan? Having a break and again setting the ground rule. This is a new idea and the creativity. This is not duplicable though, so don't try this. Okay, because one of the things which I learned in this business and this is the why I like the business, that there is no creativity required here. But trust me, you will understand later. You need a creativity sometimes, all of a sudden. Okay, some of you would understand what I'm trying to say. Some of you will understand later. Yeah, some of you are smiling. Yeah. So if you have understood, you can show me your thumbs up. Okay, what exactly you mean? So you need a creativity sometimes. Okay, and this business will teach you that creativity as well. Okay, so don't worry. Isn't it great? Whatever we need to know, we are taught. Amazing, no? Yeah.
Love.
Oh, lovely, Balaji. Thank you so much. Yeah. So Balaji, I have promised them to give them the hint about the sports closure. Okay. Over to
Yes.
you.
Yes. Thank you so much. No, I was talking about this corporate identity that I came with. That is something that I had to take it off as a quote. So if in this business we want to move ahead, that's something that I had to put it off. Never, I realized the power of association. I never missed association after that. I used to yearn for an association, look for association, run for wherever there is association, uplines talking, people who are senior who are talking, look for them. That became the priority. So as long as I am learning, I'll be able to do justice to whatever I have got here. That's the thought that I had. There's a famous thing that Lord Buddha said that there is a water droplet. If it falls on a leaf, it's called a dewdrop, and it looks beautiful. Okay, and if it falls on dirty water, it just mixes with dirty water. So that leaf, and I want to be that water droplet. I want to be as seeker as a water droplet, so that if that water droplet falls on that leaf, it will look beautiful. These trainings have actually given me acceptance for everything that is there in this business. There is a lot of logic that is being told on everything around this business in these trainings, in these discussions with uplines, in these V-cells, in these associations. This is this has become the core for me now, and I really enjoy being a student, and I would want to improve as a student. There's no point. Sachin Tendulkar became Sachin Tendulkar because of Ramakant Achrekar. He did not see who Ramakant Achrekar was. What would have happened if all of us want to join good schools, right? All of us want our kids to be put in good school. The point is, it's about becoming a good student. And Sachin Tendulkar did not check the credibility of Ramakant Achrekar. How many Sachin Tendulkars has Ramakant Achrekar created? I told you, right? My examples would be from cricket. Ramakant Achrekar was the coach for Sachin Tendulkar, right? All of us know, most of us who understand cricket would know that Sachin Tendulkar created records after that. But he did not judge the coach, right? It's about the student. We have one of the best coaches here. That's a different thing. We have Sachin Tendulkar as coach for us. That's a different thing. But the point is, are we the student who's willing to learn? Are we the student willing to be the student and give everything from our side to the coach so that they can mold us? Because only if we get molded can we mold it going forward. Right? Don't judge the speaker. Even when ground rules are being done here, when ground rules are being done, they say, right, don't judge the speaker. It's not about me that I am telling. But when ground rules were being made, I was one of those who would judge the speaker. But when they say in ground rules, don't judge the speaker, empty your cup, it has a very deep meaning within it. If the idea is, as a seeker, I am supposed to catch the message. Right? If I am able to catch the message, I'll be able to implement the message. And if I am able to implement the message, probably the team will understand how to take it forward. And that's how the growth will happen. Otherwise, it will be few signups, it will be few huntings that everyone will get. Everyone will get. I heard in one of these systems, and I would want to share. I heard in one of the systems it was taken by AVP Rakesh Kinger then. It was probably his first system. It was, and he had told in that system that this is my first system that he's taking. And he said closure is about getting it on the spot. It's about saying I love you and you love me. It is this feeling, and it is about getting it in spot. I don't know what clicked on my head. After that, I started showing a series of plan, and all that was a spot closure, just like a jiffy. Right? The speaker will talk. Speaker will talk what needs to be given. And it's up to us to just receive it. It's up to us to receive. Speaker knows what needs to be given. And sometime back, just recently, coach told in one of the sessions that what, every time you go for a system resell or any of the upline association, just ask the universe that give me what I want, and you would get what you want. When she said this, it hit me, and I think these are statements that I would treasure it for my life. These are statements I would treasure it. So every time today I go for any of those calls or Zoom calls or whatever it is, I really ask for give me something that I want. And I want to get better as a student. I only want to get better as a student. This there's this. I'll just tell you the story of story that is there in Mahabharata. Okay, Mahabharata is a mythological epic which has been written many years back. For those of you who do not know Mahabharata, those of you who are from other countries may not know Mahabharata. It's a mythological epic that has been written. It was about the battle for kingdom. Okay, there were two cousins, so to say. There were two enemies or whatever. There were two groups. One was Kauravas and one was Pandavas. Kauravas were large in numbers. Pandavas were small in number. Lord Krishna was with Pandavas, and the rest all were with Kauravas. Okay, and Kaurava had somebody called as Bhishma. He was the great grandfather for almost everybody. Bhishma had this blessing that he was immortal. You heard the story? If you've heard the story, you still listen it because it's okay to listen to the same thing again and again. Like I said, you know what? I'm going to tell whatever I have learned. So Bhishma was the great grandfather who had this blessing that he was immortal. And the war went on for many days, and one day Bhishma said that the war is going to end tomorrow, which means one amongst the two are going to die, and the war is going to be over. Okay? The moment Bhishma said this, Bhishma cannot die, right? And if he says tomorrow I'm going to finish the war, that means Bhishma was in Kaurava's side. That means Pandavas are going to be killed, and with that it's going to be over. You know, right? Pandavas won in the end. So when Bhishma said that tomorrow the war is going to be over, the stressed out group was the Pandavas group. Okay? Stressed out group was Pandavas group because they thought it's going to be over. And they were wondering, what strategy to adopt. And there were a lot of discussions that were happening overnight. People were all tensed, what's going to happen. And people were saying how to win this, that, and all that. And Lord Krishna was walking around. And he could hear a snoring voice from a tent. Okay? Everybody is tensed and stressed and they are discussing how to win the war, and there is somebody who was snoring and sleeping, relaxed. So Lord Krishna went in and asked, aren't you tensed? And you know Arjun was a student. Okay? He woke up and he said that, you know what, I'm only going to be using the bow and arrow. You're going to tell me how it's going to happen. So I would follow the instructions and I would just throw the arrow wherever you're telling me to. And I know that you will guide me to win. So why should I worry about what's going to happen tomorrow? All of us will have that coach, that guide, if we become Arjun. You know, one thing that I wondered while I'm talking to you, I'm also thinking that there are so many people who keep their kid's name as Arjun. Right? We all know. Do you know somebody whose kid's name is Arjun? You'll know somebody by the name Arjun also. Do you know somebody by the name Yudhishthir who was the elder brother of Arjun? And Yudhishthir was somebody who would never speak a lie. He was called as Dharmaraj, which means that he would not do anything that is violating anything. We keep our kid's name as Arjun. You know why? Because he was a superb student. While he was learning, Dronacharya was his guru, and it is said that he was the favorite student. And that's probably because Arjun eventually was called as an ace archer. You know that, right? The one who would use the bow and arrow. He was the best archer of his times. His best archer of his time. That's because he was probably the best student. He was the best student. He was the best student when he was learning archery, and then later when he grew up, he found another upline, so to say, and that was Lord Krishna. And all of us will get that upline the day we become Arjun. The whole thing is, you know, we focus on trying to show plans and this and that. All that is there, all that is given. But over and above that, what is most important is to become Arjun. Because the day we become Arjun, the master will appear. They say, you know, when the student is ready, the master appears. All of us have somebody as an upline who's there to coach, who's just ahead of us in the journey, who's probably seen the days. We say upline is a giraffe, who has seen the days, right? And that person is willing to duplicate whatever he has done on us so that we can duplicate whatever we are doing to the next level. And that's how a system would get built. Anything, if you try to tamper to the system, probably the system will not get built the way we want it to be so that the next 2 generations can be taken care of. The potential of this business is not restricted to getting a few checks or getting rid of small little liabilities around. The potential of this business is to take care of our next 2 generations, and that's humongous. And the efforts that are required to get that done is not so big. The rewards that you get is much bigger, and the efforts is not the price that we pay to get that is not so big at the end of the day. And that's what I have learned from this journey. And I am here wanting to become an Arjun. I'm here wanting to become a better. Every day I want to become a better Arjun. Because I know that as long as I am a good Arjun, I can create anything. Right? That's what I wanted to share. Most importantly, there is the most important thing that is happening around, which is called Vcon. Right? It's coming to us. A lot of times we had to go to Vcon. You know, I kept talking about all these events and all that stuff. The first Vcon that I attended 2012, I have never missed a Vcon after that. And I have always gone to Vcon with the thought that, you know, I want something from this Vcon. And I am going to this Vcon again with this thought that, you know, I want something from this Vcon, because what Vcon can give, nothing else can give. And the founders and chief and the key partners, AVPs, they are thinking a lot to ensure that the Vcon is going to be super awesome. More than every Vcon, they have raised the bar higher. This Vcon, they are going to raise the bar higher even more. Right? So this thing that is of learning is going to be optimum when it comes to Vcon. So it's not just about me coming to Beacon, right? It's about using Beacon as a fuel. It's happening in the month of March, mid of March. I'm sure you know that it's happening in the month of March. So 14, 15, 16 is the date for Beacon. Beacon can be actually a propeller to your engine of growth. It can be a propeller for an engine of growth. I believe that it's a propeller for the engine of growth. Register today for Beacon. And once you register, the moment I register onto Beacon and you register onto Beacon, we register onto Beacon, there's a statement that we make to the universe that I am ready. That's a statement goes to the universe. Right? Send a statement to the universe that I am ready, and then the universe will then take you forward. The thing that we need to do for Beacon is it's not just about I am ready. It's to do an F2. Sign up 2 people and register them for Beacon and get 2 for each one of them. So sign up 2 people and get 2 people for F2 for yourself and F2 for them. And then you see how Beacon can actually do a magic. It can be magical. It has always been something that has propelled the growth, a running engine. Beacon can be 2 more engines getting added and speeding up the engine. That's what Beacon has done always for me. I have decided to do 2 week F2 before 14th of March so that I can get them and F2 for them. And then I just want Beacon to do the magic, which is it has done always, and it will do this time again. And last time they did WeConnect for the first time. This time, even they know to do it much better. So this WeConnect, we can have all our expectations, and I'm sure it will deliver more than our expectations. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, AVP Sharfun, for giving me this opportunity to share my journey. While I was sharing my journey, I commit to be a better Arjun. I commit to be a better student. I want to be a better student, and there's a lot that I want to achieve. Thank you so much for adjusting with my internet connectivity as well. And thank you so much for being together. Yeah. Thank you very much.